So excess noise, and especially of certain types, can have lots of problems in society, and I've gone over it before. It can disturb sleep. It makes everyone more anxious. But also, if someone has severe, for people with sensory processing disorders, it can be hard. It can be hard to tell what people are saying. People can not hear important noises like actual warnings because it's just overloaded. But it also disrupts wildlife and more. So here are some ideas that we can get the signals we need without hurting people in general. One is that we could have audio signals with adjustments. So the audio signals might be quieter if the surroundings are quieter. Then they get louder if it's louder. Or they can look at having different bands. So like if everything is very high noise, it makes a low noise and sort of does it so it doesn't overlap with all the other noises. So it's more clear, distinct noise when it's talking. And that you have also periods of time that is quieter overall. Another idea would be to make audio beams or focused audio sounds. And there's been a variety of ways of doing it, but just like you can take light and have a thin beam or have a beam that spreads out, you can do the same with audio. And you can do that by having it kind of focus on having normally sound spreads out, but you can see that a curved reflector can focus sound. If you combine those two things together, that it's spreading out, but you also have something that focuses it and they hit each other just right, you can kind of make a focused audio beam. Now with wave interference and stuff, you can make it even more and more complicated. So you can have something super precise to something less precise. And its audio beams could maybe make a loud warning in more particular direction that's more relevant, such as having cars that honk louder in front of them than to the sides, or a signal that just honks at a certain direction, so it doesn't bother as much people overall. Another solution is just to lower the sound in general of stuff coming out. So and lower other sounds, like I've discussed about making quieter toilets. You can make the engines of cars quieter in some areas. Just all this stuff to make it quieter in general so that we hear other sounds more distinctively. Another use we could have is we could have it so it adjusts for different times of day or something like that. So when we're asleep, it's more quiet, so it doesn't bother us much. Or that it realizes that certain times of day it's louder, so it needs to change it. Or that these notifications are more important during certain times of day. So maybe your phone rings more when you want to pick up phone calls. Not like a do not disturb, but if the world work had do not disturb. And it learns like certain habits of when people want to be disturbed and when people do not want to be disturbed. It can also learn different types of noises and stuff, and when people are more likely to react to a notification, and people are more likely just to ignore a notification. And so make as big of a deal about it. Another idea I have talked about before is intermittent and having less notifications. So basically, this is how that would work. Maybe you only get a notification for text messages after every 2 or 3 text messages, so you don't get as disturbed as much. Or emails, or maybe you only get it big loud noise when you think an email is important. And you can put in different settings for different places. Or maybe if it sees it doesn't respond, it lets for this ring over and over again. First it waits a little bit for a quieter period of time, and then it rings during a quieter period of time when you're more likely to hear it. And it doesn't have to ring as loudly, so it waits until it can get to you. Or just making less notifications in general because it's just knows is less important. And you can make the intermittent times also overlap less. So you could have a beep every second, which is pretty frequently, with another beep every second, but they just perfectly don't overlap. Another way we could make the whole notification system better is to have it so it goes through headphones more, or ear devices that you have on, so not everyone hears it and not everyone is bothered, so it's much more local. Now that requires a lot of people to do it. It might require people to have it on the job. It might even save energy because you don't have to make as loud of a noise some of these ideas, if we can lower down the quietness. Another idea that wouldn't save energy probably, But the cool idea is to send vibrations to the ground, which is actually kind of totally different how elephants communicate and how some other big animals communicate through vibrations in the ground. And therefore, it doesn't disrupt people that are on different surfaces, much a different type of ground. And it also doesn't interfere because you feel the vibrations through your legs more and in a different way than the rest of your body, helping you understand that it's a different thing. Another idea would be to make these sounds just in generally more spread out with more speakers everywhere. So you don't have to blast the speaker locally so everyone can hear it everyone hears it very loudly that's far away, but with the people close by it gets blasted off. Just having more speakers here and there. And you can have the speakers overlap with slightly different things. Like it's shown that some people hear slightly differently between the left and right ear. So you can make clear noises if you have a left speaker and right speaker that are different. But for someone farther away, it doesn't bother them as much because they hear mostly one sound or another sound. And the clear noise can give you a better hearing experience, but also make you more comfortable, and meaning it has to be less loud because it's more clear. Besides that, it might train you how to use your ears better if you have more sounds that are slightly different because it's more like the real world where people are talking to you. So you might improve your hearing abilities. Another way to reduce sound in lots of places would be to put plants, insulation, the mini turbines I talk about for wind, for particularly loud sounds, and insulation like foam insulation or squishy insulation to keep your house cold, or plants, just bushes and stuff, because those are good at absorbing sounds. Now to get the full benefits, you can put them around houses, around roads. You can also make them have curves. And it's thinking about how sound reflects in neighborhoods. Another idea would be to put walls, etc., around places just to deflect the noises so they bounce off more places and then they get absorbed. Now that can also, you have to think about that more carefully, because that can also make locally it more noisy. And you might have people be aware of that some places it's going to become quieter, some places it's going to become more noisy. And you might even put sounds that this is a noisy area or not. So that's not a full one. Now if you have it deflect and hit more things absorb it, like you have it all deflect against a tree, that can make the tree sound absorber even better and stuff, or things like that. You can have put in time ordinances in places so they only make a lot of noise during certain times of day, or so people can get better sleep and stuff. Now that's not going to be fair for some people, because some people have odd clocks and sleep at odd times, or some people can be in different play times and here and there, but overall it's a better thing. You can have location ordinances so people will not make as much noises in certain locations, which could be very, very useful, because then you do have at least some places where you could relax. Now you could have some places with all this music and everything for people that do enjoy that. Maybe, and sometimes some person enjoys one thing and doesn't enjoy the other thing at different times, so they can move around depending on it or how they're feeling. Stuff like that. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard. With your help, I think you can do it. Also, if any of these were future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.